error, should I call it error, mistakes that many do when it comes to marriage, when it comes to their relationship, and when it comes to getting the best out of it. As much as possible, there are a lot of expectations that couples expect of each other, and assumption as well, because the expectation is at least what the society has definitely built for almost everyone. So there's that expectation, and at the end of the day, there's also that place where it's not been communicated. So there is a gap, a very huge gap in embracing and really welcoming the new phase of life called marriage. Either you're new to marriage or you've been there, 20 years, 30 years, 25 years. I'm sure you would have one or two things to take home from this expository teaching this evening. We have a lot of topics that we are here to really, really talk about. We'll be talking about how to check your marriage, how to have a marriage checkup, right? How to have a marriage checkup. We'll be talking about healing heartbreaks, betrayal, infidelity, abuse, couples integration template, marriage redefinition template, reinjecting emotional intimacy, romance and love making in marriage, conflict resolution tips, of course, then making money as a couple. That's really very interesting to me. Every part, actually, every part. But when you hear money, it's oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yes. Now you're talking about the problem. And when you're intimacy, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. And now we do really talk about it. But do you know that couples really fall into these mistakes or not knowing what exactly they're doing or what they're really getting into, most especially when they do not go through their marriage checkup. When you do not know how to check your marriage, you might just assume things are fine and things are not fine. You might assume you guys are good, but you're not good. There's just a lot of assumption flying here and there, and no one can even catch it. Before you know it, a lot of issues must have gone down the drain where couples or individuals might not be able to handle, and then they arrive at irreconcilable differences. It's complicated. It's unresolvable. We don't even know where to start. It's just a lot, different phrases as such. And so it's important that couples get this more importantly. First is that how many people really know what marriage is? How many people really know what marriage is? How many people embrace marriage? How many people understand what marriage is, and yet they're married, right? And would realize that, yeah, marriage is a lot of work. We've heard that. I'm sure some of us must have heard it. Marriage is a lot of work. Marriage is this. Marriage is complicated. Marriage is difficult. Or sometimes you hear marriage is sweet, especially when you are with the right person. Have you heard that before? The marriage is sweet. Oh, those couples, they make marriage so adorable. In fact, the way I look at them, I'm hungry for marriage. Marriage is da da da. But really, if we look at it, these couples that they are your examples, do you know what they do? Do you know the knowledge that they have beforehand before going into marriage, or even the knowledge they still embrace, of the steps and processes that they take, the system they have in place to have healthy marriage? It's very important that I let you know at this juncture that marriage is intentional. Number one, it is intentional. It's just like part of life. The way you hear that you have to be intentional about life, just that way you have to be intentional when it comes to marriage. You don't just let things slip by, or you think things will just fall on your lap and all of that. So there is an intentionality. And I don't want to say that the word being intentional seems to have been bastardized. How do you get to be intentional? I'm already taking you on a journey to marriage checkup. All right, so how to check up your marriage, how to do that, it's very important. First, let's be intentional about it. Talk about it with your spouse this evening. Can we do a marriage checkup? Just the way people do medical checkup. It looks as if medical checkup is very popular, but most people don't do medical checkup. Even those most, or uh, a particular percentage of people who advocate for medical checkup don't even do it. It doesn't know what it's good, just the way everyone wants to identify with what it's good. Everyone wants to identify with marriage, but how many people really want to stay or do what makes marriage work? What makes a successful marriage? Do you think your spouse is actually happy? Is your wife happy? Is your husband happy? What really makes them happy? Do you know, or you also assume? For example, probably you bought a gift for your wife or for your husband, and then it's like, oh, well, I love it, I love it. And then you saw the happiness and all of that, and you just concluded that anytime I buy a gift, gift is my wife's love language and all of that. No, it might just be that mood. Gifts is my husband love. It might just be that mood. It might not be gift. For some, it might just be that they want you to be there. They want you to listen. They want you to hear. For some, it's sex. For some, it's touch. For some, it's just that oneness. They want to talk. They want to be real with you. For some, they just want friendship. For some, they want you to be in their corner. They want you to be dependable. They want you to love them. They want you to hug them. They want you to be with them. They want you to hear them. All right. So do you even know if you're hearing each other, or it's just all about the pictures? There are a lot of wedding pictures with all smiles and even family uniform. It's my area from Nigeria, where I come from, it's called, most of the time it is called family uniform, Ashwebi. Call it Ashwebi, family uniform. Like everyone is in uniform, even expensive, you can go on expensive vacation, um, retreat and all of that. But do you make use of this? Do you maximize this? Some people can go for a family vacation, but throughout the vacation, they don't even talk. It's just the normal thing. Maybe they just only find time to rest. But there is more. Why do you go on vacation? Why do you go on retreat? Why should you do marriage checkup? And listen, no one will do this for you except yourselves. And one, and number two, except now you consult a marriage counselor, like the reconciler company. Yeah. So maybe you can just, okay, can you conduct a marriage checkup for you? But honestly, I love to see marriage thrive. And so that is why I'll be doing this for free. But if you want to do something deeper, yeah, I would have the masterclass after now, and you would always see that more. But first, let us go into how do you do marriage checkup. Before you say you want to do marriage checkup, please, please be ready to embrace the truth. Be ready to be sincere and be ready to listen to the truth and not feel attacked. I just want to speak to you being on the receiving end first. Do you get that? I want to speak to you being on the receiving end first, that, okay, tell me the truth. I want to know, even though it hurts. And honestly, it hurts won't just be for that moment. It might be for months. But to avoid it being for months, you must be ready to talk about it. So marriage checkup is not a 5 minutes discussion. It's not a 2 minutes discussion. It's not a 5 minute, 10 minutes discussion. It is not a discussion that you just have on the road. And it's like serious business, like you want to write an exam, like you're preparing for a test, because marriage is supposed to last a lifetime. So why will you not pay attention or give full attention to what will last a lifetime? You have to talk about what matters to both of you, but you talk about it maybe on your way out. Okay, yeah, about the children. What do you think? And then these are this is a life assignment. Both of you in each other's arms and fulfilling your desires, becoming who you want to be without the other person feeling robbed, cheated, or the other person feeling like I have to be the only one to be on top. It is not a selfish journey. So as you're about to embark on marriage checkup, It is not that you want to be on a selfish journey. I said, yes, because I said that we should talk our mind, see it now as it is a hand. Now I have the time. I'm going to say everything. You must also be ready to receive everything. If you're ready to say everything, you must be ready to receive everything. And without humility, without joy, you have to hug that. You have to hug that and say, yeah, I'm ready. And that's your posturing as a receiver. You must be ready to receive the truth. You must really look inward and say, okay, this my spouse knows me so much, right? Understands me, and here my spouse is ready to tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I should work on, areas that likely in years to come might be affecting us or affecting me even personally and all of that. So it's like, how many people go to the doctor and tell the doctor what they want the doctor to tell them? When you go to the doctor medically, right, you tell oh, I don't think I'm feeling well. Then the doctor runs a test and gives you the result. You don't say, no, 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 no. How do you get this? No, this is not there. I didn't, you will not manipulate the result. Just that way, you don't want to be manipulated when you are doing your marriage checkup. So I want to encourage you, you must be ready to listen really to the truth, because your spouse really knows you to a certain extent, especially when you have spouse that do observe. They know you're sleeping, they know you're waking up. There is a place of nakedness for both of you. So checkup is like nakedness. There are a lot of marriages that there's too much of packaging. Spouses packaging for each other, hiding certain things and saying that they have best friends outside of their marriage. Then this calls for something. The best friend that you have outside of marriage that your spouse doesn't know about is not good enough, because marriage is a team. The very first team is a pure team. I needed to mark these words I'm saying, right? Marriage is a pure team. It's a pure team without holding nothing back, and there are no ulterior motives, right? It's not a competition. So when you want to do this checkup, you are not going to say, hey, all right, I'm about to tell you this. Anyway, you might not take it as it. You might not. No, it is how you feel, not just that, but what you think about your spouse. Then you should be kind with words. Now I'm talking about you on the other side, where you are acting as a doctor. All right, I'm teaching you how to do this without a third party. But if you think you can't do this without a third party, then you can consult, right? Which would be to pay, right? You can consult the reconciler company right away, write them a letter. So that can be done, right? But how to do it without consultants here is that you must be ready to say the truth, and you must be ready to receive it. But in the process of saying the truth or how you think things are, you should avoid insulting your spouse. You should avoid negative words. You should avoid attacking your spouse. Remember, it is checkup. The doctor will not attack you, right? If you go to the doctor, you trust the doctor enough. So another posturing is that you must trust your doctor enough. If you're on the receiving end also, you must trust, you must be willing to listen, and you must be ready to say the truth, and of course to receive it. And if you're on the other end also, as a doctor, you must be ready not to hide anything, and be soft with your words. Don't attack your spouse. Don't say, hey, this is an opportunity to get back at you. No, you're not. Remember, I said it's a pure, a very pure team. So that said, what are the things you need to check? One of the things, if I should ask you, that probably you like about your spouse before you got married, you're attracted to his or her character. You're attracted to his or her physical posture, maybe tall, dark, and some slim, 6-pack, 10-pack, 6 in 1 pack, whichever way that you like, but you are both attracted to each other. Intellectually, you can be also be attracted to each other. Maybe your interests go hand in hand. Um, your thoughts towards certain things, your belief system, your faith, and all of that. Career building, business, in whatsoever capacity, something attracted you to each other. And if you realize that by the time you guys are doing your checkup, so you just feel that something is missing. I do not feel that affection. I think I'm not attractive. He's not attracting, there's just that way. Sometimes maybe might just not be able to place it, or maybe it might even be, well, we are new to parenting. We have children now. I've never been a parent before. You've never been a parent before, but can we learn? Can we go to school of parenting? Can we do this? Can we? Because I think we are not doing it right. Right. So there's a checkup of so many things that you will have to look out for. For example, maybe you're doing that for the first time. You look at how you guys got to where you are when you tied the knot. What were the things that attracted you? What are the things that you think he or she is not being consistent about anymore? So you have to check that as well. So I think this, and you're no longer doing it. Yeah, we're all human. We can change, but I think it was good. I think you can also improve on it, right? It's very important. Talk about your knowledge base, intellect as well. Are you guys growing together? Are you the only one going to school and your spouse is not going? Are there courses your spouse? Do you understand? All these things you need to talk about. Even to the extent of talking about fashion, neatness, how clean is your home? Maybe you don't even like how he or she uses the toilet, the washroom, pardon me. Anyhow, toilet, washroom is same. So, um, the little things, how he or she relates with your family members, or how you relate to the in-laws, how you relate with your friends. Do all this checklist, and talking about your faith as well. Oh, maybe before we got married, you were so dedicated, you're devoted to our faith, but now I don't think you are, and it's not encouraging. I just feel that I'm the one doing most of the job, or I think you should be doing more, and all of that. When it comes to finance as well, right? It's important. Look at different areas when it comes to your marriage, which is also like different areas when it comes to your life. Because marriage is a lifetime journey. So I don't know how people tend to separate marriage and life. I really don't know. It's inseparable because part of that life is your marriage. So you do that check up. I hope I have been able to help you. Well, at the end of the day, when you guys are done talking about these things and you address it and it's okay, how should we go about it? The next phase is to plan. Oh, I accept this. Oh, wow. So I don't do that anymore. I thought I did this. I thought I did that. Da, 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 da. Then both of you say, okay, can I work on it? How do you think I can work on it? You now set a system in place to ensuring that by the time you're doing this checkup and maybe there are downsides to it and all of that, you begin to say, how do we build ourselves up? How do we get better in this situation? How do we do what we're supposed to do? Then you are able to address it. I think you should listen to each other's opinion. This is one of the things that couples don't do. Like I said, it is not to look down on each other. So your partner's, your spouse contribution, suggestion matters, especially since they're able to identify the problem. If you go to the doctor and the doctor identifies a particular problem, even if the doctor cannot do anything about it, if that's not his specialty, he's going to refer you to a specialist. So also, for example, maybe you have a downside when it comes to parenting. Your doctor, your spouse should be able to suggest, okay, let's go to social parenting school. Like, let's both of us do. Don't assume you can parent properly. Don't assume you have a template, especially when you don't. Should we do, hold on, please. Hold on, please. Hold on, please. I'm back. Yeah, so just like what we are doing, I'm doing this at home. So my daughter just came knocking. Yeah. So they are part of this work. How will I reconcile relationship when family is not involved? All right. If you go to the doctor, so rather refer you right to specialist and all that. So when it comes to parenting, both of you probably are not expert in it. Maybe that's not the field he or she is working on. So what would you rather do? Rather just send in your spouse, right? And tell, let both of us, let us go to, and all of that. And then that is being done. You both now go for that kind of program or teaching or a course so that you're getting better at it. There is an acknowledgement that you have never been on that journey before, both of you, and you must welcome that ignorance level with so much joy that you embrace it, and then you know that, well, in this case, I need to move on. I need to go ahead. Right? We need to learn. We need to embrace knowledge. We need to embrace what we need to do. Knowledge is power. Knowledge empowers. And both of you must acknowledge your ignorance. And then you go on that journey together. You check each other's notes. When he said this, when the counselor said this, when the therapist said this, what do you think? And all of that. And honestly, in the process of doing checkup, you realize sometimes if your spouse needs therapy, if you need therapy, sometimes you may ask them, why are we doing this? Why are we bringing this culture home? Sometimes these things are trauma response, but you will not know. And you cannot know even how to identify trauma response because you're not a therapist. So when you realize that after you're doing your checkup, there are certain things that you don't have a solution or answer to. Remember, I said you have a plan. You begin to have a plan together and say, okay, what should we do concerning this downside? What should we do concerning this but that we are dealing with and all of that? So if you have to embrace a therapist, if you have to embrace a counselor, go ahead and do that. If you have to embrace a teacher, go for a course, please go ahead and do that, and don't be left out, because in this 21st century, not 21st century now, in this age and time, as times goes by, each time knowledge is required, and you do not want to be that couple that say, don't mind them, you know what we are doing, what are they teaching? No, you don't want to do that. Knowledge is important, especially when you are doing your checkup. So in case it's a trauma response, you both know that, hey, you need to go for therapy. Oh, I need to go for therapy. Oh, I'm hurting. Oh, let's go for therapy so that I can find healing. I can find closure, especially when you can't help each other. You need to just embrace your reality so that you enjoy your marriage. And honestly, I tell you, in the process of checkup, you create the bond. There is this love, there's this trust that you tend to build together. That's why checkup is so important, very important, that you will love it. You will love it, and you redefine your friendship, you redefine your love. It helps you to be on the same page. You could see into each other's eyes and see the pain and all of that. Yeah, some would, after the checkup, they would decide to say they want to do a makeup. It's okay. As you're doing checkup, the Lord help you. All right, so just help yourselves. The next phase, I think I've said that now. The next one I'll be talking about is healing heartbreak, because I'm looking at the time and I just really want to touch a lot of things. Healing heartbreak, betrayal or infidelity and abuse. This is a very strong one in the sense that couples most of the time go through it. I can't remember whose Instagram voice chats that I saw recently and spoke about infidelity. And I remember we had had a program also on the Reconciler Instagram page on infidelity, healing, and all of that. It's not just only on sex. The moment you begin to keep important information away from your spouse, you're already cheating on them, you're already betraying them, right? And that is not good. Like I said, the purest team is marriage. But if the purest team in marriage, the purest team is not watching each other's back, if they do not love each other enough to be truthful, if they do not love each other enough to go all out for each other, but had to cheat one way or the other, let me tell you how the other spouse will likely feel. They feel betrayed, and they will be hurt knowing that while you were cheating on them, either immorality or whichever way, or even when it comes to finance and all that, that while you were cheating on them, you were even professing you love them. So, because by the time you want to make up and then you ask for forgiveness and all of that, you realize that you still tell them, oh, I love you. So they are confused. As a psychologist here, right? They are confused. They can't they can't comprehend you telling them you love them, you confess your love, you profess your love, you shower them with gifts and all of that, and you cheated on them, right? And after they found out you confessed or whichever way, and you asked for forgiveness and you when I said, oh, I love you, I love you, and like, no, you were saying this those times. So they can't comprehend it. So there's this depth of pain that they don't know how to comprehend, they don't know how to analyze, they don't know how to deal with, and they feel that you are not even in the best position to deal with it, in the sense that you seem to even be repeating the character you had then. So at some point they're like, okay, I think I saw these signs, but I ignored it because I just thought, okay, I just thought. So while you're finding healing with them, you ask for forgiveness, you confessing your love and all of that, there's still that place of, is this love confession this time around real? So it will take a while. So if you are the one who did the offending, right, who broke the edge, you must be patient enough. In fact, the patience you couldn't have that you had to cheat on them is not the patience you need to have for them to heal. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take your consistency. It's going to take the character that you promised, right, to address. They have to begin to see it consistently. Do you get that now? They have to begin to see it consistently before their mind begins to register it again. That I think this guy has changed. I think this lady has changed. I think he loves me really. I think she loves me really. I think he was just drawn out of this. I think it was just because they will still think, what if one day? Yes, that is one day you still say it was a mistake. She will say it was a mistake. I'm sorry. The guy just did there's so many things. I think the guy just knew my mom body, and I didn't even know when I opened my labs. Just you'll be you'll likely be hurt over and over and over again. And if you are on the one who is causing the whole issue and all of you you don't know how you feel as well, because your own feeling is there's this guilt that you probably felt that, hey, oh no, I did wrong. I shouldn't have. He trusted me so much. She trusted me. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have. If you see the statistics, almost at least 1 out of 3 marriages, it's heard that the ladies cheat, the woman. Is that cheat when it comes to morality or cheat when it comes to money, their finance. They just had to hide some amount of money from their husband so that he's not going to collect everything. There's this level of distrust and not being transparent in marriage, and this causes a lot of issues that couples definitely um, experience, and this is not good, right? So that part is also very important, that it has to be addressed. And the offending side, have you found healing in the sense that you do not go back to that? You don't make practice of what you have asked for forgiveness for, right? And then you must have a pattern, you must have a plan on not doing that again. You must have a system you have to put in place. You must not be involved in anything that will raise a dust. Oh, have you gone back to the lady? Have you gone back to the guy? Or are you guys still talking secretly? And all of that. These things will be going on in the man. And maybe you also even have to battle with that addiction. Maybe you're addicted. You just do not declare all the money that comes in. Maybe just, and you sometimes have, oh, legit reasons, honestly, but it is not legit. It is not good to cheat on your spouse. This it's deep so much. So sometimes you're finding yourself while you still want your spouse to heal. I will always encourage that you see a counselor. But if in the event that just want to hide, you don't want it to be known to the public, be ready to go the very long journey of healing, and you also finding yourself and being truthful. Both of you talk to each other, help to put each other the check. Ask for help where you need it with your spouse. I know you're hurting, but can you check me once in a while? Can you barge into my phone once in a while? Can you ask me when I'm calling? Can you check my mails? Can you check my bank account? Just so that you are able to put some checks. And maybe someone is already tempting you and all of that. Once you make it open, it neutralizes a lot. You make it open, and then you avoid questionable talk, touches, privacy, and all of that. You avoid all these things. And another thing is that if your spouse do know this person, you should try as much as possible that you don't put this person in their face, because it will remind them of their hurt. It will remind them of what they did. And for some, they can't even take it. They might just approach the person, say what you did. You broke my home, you broke my this, and then and someone that is cheating with you, with your spouse and all of that, does not really care, honestly. They don't really care. So that might really hurt your spouse as well. That even that the person is not even remorseful, is not this, and then the person is with felt a level of disrespect and all of that. There's just so much. A level of disrespect. You might feel disrespected, you might feel dishonored, you might feel that you're not needed in the marriage. That's why most of the time it's very difficult to recover from infidelity. But I know it's very possible to recover. It might be difficult, but it is possible to recover from infidelity if you're ready to put in the work, both of you. But in the event that not both of you do not want to put in the work, and they just feel that you should take the pain of infidelity, I want to tell you first that there are certain signs that will probably bring that in. Am I not attractive to my spouse? Really, for you to get back to that question, remember that marriage checkup. So you and your spouse is something that you have to always do regularly to avoid this infidelity issue. But when the infidelity issue comes up and then the other party doesn't even care, I want to call you to this order. First is find yourself. Be sure that you have not put the whole of your life in the hands of your spouse, because that will hurt you badly the more. But in the event that you found out that, well, I think my life is still in my hands, I can take charge of certain things, then you should find your place. Then begin to take it a step at a time, a day at a time in your healing journey. In your healing journey, in the sense that it is your life, it is not a dress rehearsal. You have your life to live. Your spouse also have their life to live. But you must importantly take your life as yours first. What do you want in your life? What do you want happen in your life? Find out sometimes. I don't want to put you under pressure, but sometimes, why did my spouse go this length? Has there been, is there any seed? Has there been trade? Do you think you could trace that? You could see the fruit earlier, maybe before you got married? Do you understand? Because sometimes seeds don't die like that. Like that, like that. Sometimes some seeds, they grow, they are weeds, they grow. But when you don't give it attention, it keeps growing, and some weeds bear fruit. Weed is an unwanted plant. If I have a tree of orange growing in my room, it is an unwanted plant at that point, though it is fruitful, but I will not leave it there because I don't want it there. So do you think through your journey, there has been signs that this person would likely cheat financially, or, sexually, or in whatever way? So you have to do a backward journey, a rewind, to find out and see the signs and say, oh, wow, okay, what are the things? What can I do? Sometimes you might look at what attracts him to this set of people, what attracts her to this set of people. Do you understand? Why am I not attractive? Why am I this? Why am I that? But more important, I want you to do something to your own life. Fan your own flame. Fan your life. Get your life back. Go to the way you did you had to do a retrace. backwards. Do that same retrace backwards with your own life. What has been my desire from the beginning? What are the things that I've always loved to do? What are the things that I wanted to do? The hunger, the thirst, the desires you've always wanted that you have sacrificed for the spouse. You really have to get your life back to the meaning that it has to be. Honestly, that is one of the ways to heal. That is one of the ways to give attention to yourself so that the things you have sacrificed, you get them back, because it's one of the core of your pain. If you look at it's one of the core of your heart, actually, is one of the core that sometimes when you remember, your heart bleeds. Sometimes you may say, oh, I've wasted these years, but you can always get it now. I remember my husband would always say that the best time to plant a tree might be 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. So you can find that healing now. You can find your flame. You can begin to become who you want to be, because it will be very disastrous if you're sacrificing your life and you're not becoming who you've always desired, and then your spouse is not even there, and your spouse is hurting. It's like you're losing on both hands, and your life is worth more than that. That is one. Then number two, one of the ways to heal is that know that it is not all about you. That mistake wasn't about you. It's about the incompetency. It's about the imperfection. It's about the I don't want to call it weakness. It is not weakness. I'll put it at incompetency and not being strong enough, not that person just doesn't know that they have the strength to say no to such, right? So it is not about you. You are not the reason why they cheated. They are a cheat. That is why they cheated. Do you understand? That person cheated because the person is a cheat. It's not because of you. No one pushes someone else to put their hand in the fire, especially when you are not under torture. You are not. It wasn't at gunpoint and all of that. No. All right. So know that, disassociate yourself from that error, disassociate yourself from that mistake your spouse made, so that you don't take unnecessary blame. You can't be hurting and then you blame yourself at the same time. You are cooking yourself in your pot yourself. And you don't want, of course, you know what that experience will be. So you don't want to find yourself in that place. You have a great and beautiful future ahead of you. So know that you are not the cause of it. No man is another reason for another man's mistake or intentional fault that they bring and say, no, no. Don't accept it. Don't embrace it, because it's not about you. Right? Disassociate yourself from that error in the first place. It's very important. So when you're able to do that, you lessen the weight, you lessen the burden, you lessen the hurt, and then you're able to have strength to further ahead in your own life, which is very important. In a place of infidelity, and then you want to come back, remember, don't ever forget to do medical test. It's very important. Diseases still, they are still very alive and well, if I should say that. It's still real. It's still real. I remember growing up, I used to work with NGOs, so we do HIV sensitization, awareness, and all of that. I've met with HIV positive people, I've seen them and they said they were HIV positive. So it is real. It is real. Don't think it is not real. It is still very real. So ensure you do a test, because your life is important. They say, I love him, I love him, I love him. Okay, I've forgiven you. And then you put your life on the line again. You don't want to be stupid. You don't want to be. All right, you don't want to be. Your life is very important. And then going way forward, if your spouse is willing to talk about it, you should both ask, why did you do this? Why are you doing this? You should come to that place, because if that will help you to find healing, why not? But if you think your spouse is not on that same page with you, I will encourage you to have personal closure. So what I've been talking about since is called personal closure, where maybe you did not tell anyone, you don't want a counselor or a therapist, but if you need a therapist, personally, you have to go, especially when you're hurting, so that you don't begin to act from a place of trauma, from a place of hurt. with your spouse so that you don't continue from there. You don't want to relate to the children from a place of trauma as well. It's very, very traumatic, very, very traumatic. So you need to really find healing. You need to therapists. You need someone by your side to help you on that journey, and even in finding your flame and even being a better version of yourself. And yeah, I'll put it like that because there is more to it. Some their spouse will not even cheat on them, but there is a place of abuse. Abuse, oh God, abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, blackmailing, and all of that. You just always have to apologize for what you're even trying to think mentally if there was something wrong in the first place, right? Or you feel being manipulated. That's an abuse. Sometimes people have manipulated spouse. Sometimes they say that you are the reason why I'm being aggressive. You are this. Like I said, don't embrace blame and don't blame anyone. If there is anything that makes marriage work, it is avoiding the blame game. Both man and woman stop blaming. You are adults and you must be responsible. You should be responsible enough for your actions, right? You should be responsible enough for your actions. That is why you're married. And in case you're single and you're listening, don't ever play the blame game. No. Or even self-blame. Say, okay, I take the blame. Why are you blaming really? Because the moment you take a blame, it avoids you, it distracts you from both of you taking actionable steps to resolving that issue. Even when it comes to infidelity, say, I blame you, and then you just settle it that way. No, that's not how to settle. How to really settle. I tag this Fortified. How to settle is really face it. Talk about that challenge. Talk about face that bull by the or sometimes you guys are driving and then you see your spouse looking at another guy or another lady, someone like, why are you looking? Ask. Begin to do that check. Am I saying that you should not trust your spouse? No, 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 no. Begin to help them, all right, on that space. That's just what I'm saying. All right, let me just quickly go ahead. If your spouse is abusing, just talk about it and, hey, honey, I don't like the way you're talking to me, babe. I don't like it. It makes me feel less of myself. And the moment someone feels less of themselves around you, they won't want to be around you. So you have spouse who just want to avoid each other. They just want to avoid each other. They want to avoid each other. Okay. Let's go to the next one, and that is couples integration template. If you're newly married or you're just married, but you've not been going through your integration templates, I want to talk about it briefly. And I want you to do personality tests, both of you. If you're on this call, if you're not, you can easily go to www.16personalities.com www.16personalities.com. I think understanding and knowing your personalities is very, very important. Yes, please. Okay, can you see me?
No, ma.
You said you can't see me, you're seeing the whiteboard.
Yes, ma.
Please tell another host to, I can't do it here. It's talking about the host. Someone opened it. I think that person opened it mistakenly. Please just, is that okay?
Okay, ma, I'll reach out to him. I'll reach out to him.
Okay, thank you. But hope you can hear me.
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How about now?
You're back now. I think he has already done it. Yeah, I think he
Okay.
has done it.
All right, thank you. So we can go ahead. Oh, where was I? But somebody help me. Couples integration template. So in case you're just married or you're just you're 10 years, 5 years into it, there's no time you cannot do the integration template, especially when you know that you have been married a long time. You have been married a long time, but it looks as if you guys are still on the sport. No one is doing their course, no one is growing, no one is you're just bearing children, you're rearing your children, rearing in the sense that you're not raising them intentionally. You don't even talk about their schools. It's when it's just maybe a year or 2 months, and okay, what school are we going? What is it? So there should be that template. Do you know that if you have couples integration templates, it helps you to stay focused, and you will hardly have the third party in your marriage. It will even avoid infidelity, actually. Because the more you have this template, you're both working on it, it gives you the attention, it brings a focus. So when distractions wants to come, you are quickly called to order that you're building something meaningful with your spouse. Because in process where you guys are talking about your integration and all of that, there's this bonding, there's this peace, there's this trust, there's this watching each other's back, there's this reality check that comes in with both of you. Remember, you also have your marriage checkup, right? That comes in with both of you, that then it avoids, it builds your home, it fortifies it, it's it blocks out loophole, and it's just impenetrable because you have built that team. It's so together. You've bonded, and bonding, should I call it bonded? Bonding. You're bonding and you keep bonding. All right. So it's very important that you have these things when it comes to marriage. It's not just enough to just have plans together and then you pray together and all of that, but there should be a template. What are the things we need to integrate? What is this special about you, your personality, who you are, and all of that? And this person is explaining who they've been, what they desire, and same with you. And then you guys are checking in with each other, and oh, that's interesting about you, can we do this together, and all of that. Earlier today I was just with my husband and a couple too, we're talking, and then one of the couple mentioned something about me years ago, and I was like, I don't even know this about, and it's true. I never really said. I said, well, maybe that's just part of me that you didn't know. And I realized that's one of the things we didn't put on that integration board, right? And I really want to tell you, it's very important to help couples, know a lot about each other than you as just know a lot, the interest, the exploit this person has done, ask questions, be interested so much in each other. And if you're being asked questions, I think the truth, being truthful and being ready to go that length. Sometimes couples, spouse want to talk, but one question as the spouse is still answering one, and that one popped up, and then your question is not digging deep. Either your question is you're just picking and picking. No, if you're building integration, if you're having a template, your questions should be digging in. Some don't know how to ask questions. I told you the other time about checkup list and all of that. Checkup, when you're doing your checkup with marriage, you ask more questions, deeper questions. I remember time I fell ill in school. I still thought about it once in a while. I felt ill in school and I had that pain here. I don't know why, somewhere in my arm. So when I went to this doctor, so I was just explaining, okay, I had fever, I have this. So he looked at me and said, do you have a pain in your upper arm? I said, yes. And he said, at the same time, when you're feeling that pain in your upper arm, you feel it at so place. I said, yes. He didn't even have to run any tests. He just gave me a medication. He just asked the questions. So asking the right questions is a skill that you must have as a partner. Don't ask the questions that makes your partner feel probed, that will make your partner feel that you do not trust them, that will make your partner feel that you want to hunt them, like you are after their life. They will know, that will make your partner feel that you want to kill them. Don't ask questions to make your partner feel bad, incompetent. Don't ask questions to make them feel stupid. Don't ask. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So ask questions that shows that you are interested in what they are saying. And when they are talking, I think waiting to listen. Because sometimes there's this kind of say, no, no, I know you're about to land before you land there. That is not how to integrate. You rather start living apart. You'll be growing, but you're growing apart. A lot of marriages, that's why you hear a divorce after 20 years of marriage, divorce after 30 years of marriage. Like I said earlier, marriage is supposed to last a lifetime, living happily ever after. But sometimes, because of these things that are not being put in place, the marriage is not being fortified. So there are issues. But the good news is, regardless of the issues that you're going through or that you've gone through or that you're even about to go through, you can quickly put these things in place to fortify your marriage. Do you understand me? So asking the right question, being a good listener and always ready to listen, always ready to help. Not only that, you should also be able to bear your mind. Your partner should also be able to help you. Your partner should also be able to defend you. Your partner should also be able to stand by you. Do you get that now? So it's very important. Like I said, it's the purest team. I'll keep saying it again so that you get it registered in your head that the purest team you should have is with your marriage. Right. Okay. So for you to really get back on track, in case there are issues, like I said, ensure you see a therapist and all of that. Okay, so integration template is very important. Like I said, asking questions is important. Be interested in each other's life when it even comes to in each other's lives, when it comes to your family members as well. How do you integrate your in-laws? How do you integrate your friends as well? I've had issues where people would come and then they say that they lost their friend the moment they got married and all of that. One of these is why I don't encourage singles to rush into marriage. Integrate your friendship. Know and sometimes your spouse will realize that, hey, this particular friend is going to have a negative influence on you. I think you should avoid them, but they will not tell you straight up. A wise spouse will find a way to ensure. Oh my God, will find a way to ensure that, okay, how deep is your friendship? Should ask questions. Should not just say, that guy, I don't like him. I think he's going to have bad influence. That lady, I don't like her. I think it's bad, and then you leave it at that. No, this is someone they've grown with. This is so there must be solid reason. You must know how deep that relationship, and maybe it was just the first impression as well. All right. So sometimes you just have to give it time. Like I said, it's integration. Then if you have concerns, you can, I'm concerned, but you can just help me. I'm thinking this, no, 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 you don't have to worry. These are this person. Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to know. Do you understand? And leave it there. I just want to know. Leave it there. Sometimes you have questions, just ask it. Don't ask it in a way that you want to stab that person. You want to say, no, don't go with this friend. That is no wisdom, really. Because you are the one who is new that is even just coming into the picture. For all you care, he or she still trusts those friends before you getting married to you. Do you understand? So you are still building your trust as well. Yeah, you're still building your trust. Even though Solomon said that he does not know, he's yet to understand the study of the will of a man who is made, but you still don't know. You still have to wait and ask questions and be very, very patient. Be very patient. So integrating your friends is very important. Most of my husband's friends are my friends now. Most of my friends are my husband's friend. If you know me, you are close to me, you're not close to my husband, or you've never spoken to my husband, you're probably not friends. Right, right, right. We're probably not friends because it's important that you know each other in that place. Okay. Integrating your friends so that you're able to balance it. What would you like? Sometimes there is a way you want things to be. Maybe you are the one who is really the outgoing person, the other person is very conservative and all of that. You can always bring a balance to it. But more importantly, everyone should be encouraged to express themselves. Everyone should be encouraged to it, conservative or not. You must be encouraged to express yourself. You have different personalities. I told you to go and do that test. You might need a counselor to help you to balance it, but I'm sure they would always give a full report of your test. You put in your email, they give you a full report of your test. If you both want to sit with it, you can sit with it and talk with it, but I encourage you to have an expert to do that for you. You can consult the reconciler company. The marriage definition templates, like those that have been married, but all these things I've said is like Greek, like you don't understand. Like it's very new to you, and you don't even know how to go about it. You don't know how to start. Like I said, there's always a good news of starting all over again. You might be the one to start it. You might be the one to now say that, how do we go about this marriage? I think we lost it at some point. Do you still trust me? Do you still love me? Can we start all over again? Can we be lovebirds again? Can we trust each other again? Can it be better? Can it be like the movies? Yeah, we've seen a lot of love, and you're like, is this real? Are you sure this love is real? It's script, Joe. The reality dawns on, but I know that people can enjoy marriage intentionally. They can be affectionate intentionally. They can love each other intentionally. They can trust well. They can be that one. They can just stand for each other. Yeah, it's very pure. It's very possible. But how do you go about it? First is to have candid communication. Remember, I said earlier, please don't attack your spouse, don't attack each other. So the first thing is, I think this has been going on. I think we just need to start all over again. What do you think? Ensure you get this sort of party on board and create time to redefine your marriage. Where are we going to? What exactly is marriage to you? This is what marriage means to me. Do you think it's more than this? Can it be better? What are the things we can do? So redefine your marriage. Start all over again. Go on honeymoon. If it's possible, you go to where you had your honeymoon. But I know people are always getting better in their marriage. So maybe it was when you couldn't afford a particular amount. That's why you had your honeymoon there. But you can have it in a better place, can have it in another place. You can redefine it. Redefine parenting, redefine your roles, redefine your desires, redefine your thoughts, redefine your vision for your marriage. You can do that, but it has to do with the sitting. That's with the setting apart without distractions. It has to be that you are both interested in it as well. Know that you are being forced. Okay, yes, let's sit. Okay, let's talk about it. About the children. Okay, yes, I'm listening. Okay, that is not interest. So when you see that your spouse is not interested, but you desire it, you should begin to study how to get your spouse's interest. You can even ask, is there anything that I have done wrong? Do you think there's something I need to do? Get your spouse to talk, encourage your spouse to talk, and don't run out of patience, because sometimes people run out of patience and they just couldn't wait. I've been asking, you know, saying, I just left him because I already know him. This was, I already know her. This was, she, no. To redefine your mind, you need a lot of patience, like a lot of it, a lot of it. If you need a tanker for a 1,000 liters or 2,000 liters full of it, you need it. You need it. Patience is very important when it comes to redefining your marriage. You can redefine how you relate with your spouse, with your in-laws, your colleague at work. Redefine your fashion. Redefine everything, your sense of responsibility to each other. Redefine how you would want each other to even be called, how you want each other to show up for each other. It's very important. And in the process of redefinition, there's one thing you get to know. You get to understand each other's love language. You realize that sometimes you have been doing it all wrong. Most of the time, the reason why couples do not understand each other's love language is that you only speak your love language, but you're supposed to speak your spouse's love language. For example, if I like gifts and I start giving my husband gift, he would appreciate it. But if that is not his love language, no matter how much of gift I give to him, okay, yeah, thank you. But if that doesn't say I love you to him, maybe his love language is affection, touch. Maybe his love language is being there. right? I need to understand. So when I want to speak his love, like when I want to tell him I love him, then I have to show up speaking that love language of affection. Do you get it now? So when he wants to tell me he loves me, then he needs to buy me gift. Remember, I said my own love language is probably gift. So for me to understand he's telling me that he loves me, then he needs to buy me gift. For him to know that I'm telling him that I love him, then I need to show him affection, or I need to give him maybe his love language is quality time. I need to see it. He just needs to talk. Oh, I'm going through this at work. I just have to be there to listen, just being that listening. Sometimes the spouse just wants you to listen, and that's our love language, and they're cool and they're like, oh my God, my babes just got my back, my wife just got my back, my husband just got my back. I just that way. So in the process of redefinition, you realize that it helps you to fine-tune your love languages, and it helps you to speak it to each other. All right. Don't get twisted again. Don't speak your own love language to your spouse. They might not understand, especially when you don't have the same love language. But when you have the same love language, so good. Keep buying each other gifts. Your house is full of gifts. It's good. Sorry, that's if gift is your love language. I don't want to misunderstand me. Then another point here is rejecting emotion. There will be time for questions and answers, okay? Rejecting emotional intimacy, romance, and love making in marriage. Rejecting emotional intimacy, romance, and love making in marriage. Some people feel that at a particular stage, they might be anymore, or marriage, how to get that spark, especially when it comes to intimacy, has to do with what you can talk about. Many people do not enjoy intimacy with their spouse because they don't talk about it. If there's anything you even need to talk about how you want to be touched, how you want to be loved, how you want to enjoy being in each other's arms. It's important you talk about this, because when you don't talk about it and you put it on assumption, let me define it. Assumption is the lowest level of knowledge that is not bankable. Let me say it again. The lowest level of knowledge that is not bankable is what assumption is. So you can't afford to assume that your spouse knows how you want to be touched. Through your growing up years, they don't know your understanding when it comes to sex. They don't know how you got exposed to it. They don't know if you know about it or not. There's just that assumption that because we all have biology and chemistry going on, then we can do physics. Then we can touch each other physically well. No. What I thought about sex might not be what my husband thought about it. Might not be our understanding. So we really have to talk about it. For couples, premarital couples that we usually teach at Reconcile Company, we do that maybe like a month or 2 months to have extensive teaching. Sometimes teaching them, body parts and all of that, where the hormones are, where, and all different. I'm not just going to go into details, but you really need to talk about sex. You need to talk about it so that there is that spark. Like, my husband understands everything about me. My wife understands everything about me. Don't just leave it without discussion. It's funny, but that is just the reality of it. And after discussion, there are other steps that you really have to take, but because of our time, I may not be able to talk about the parts, all right? Reinjecting emotional intimacy, romance, and of course, love making in marriage. Sometimes the room people are having, the bedroom is like a second warehouse. You have gifts from parties, under the bed, in the wardrobe. You have pot and spoon and fry pan you collected from parties for Nigerian people, African, or anywhere you are. I think your room should be romantic. Where you want to have romance should be romantic, in short. And there is an expectation that the social media seem to have brought when it comes to sex. Please don't build that in your head without communicating it with your spouse. Like I said again, talk about it. Talk about it. Sometimes some have been exposed to movies like, you do 2 minutes, oh, this is fine, oh, we can try it too. And then you just don't do that, and the spouse is wondering, wait, cool it down. What are you doing? Talk about it so that there is no conflict, because where there are issues, it's a major problem. Lovemaking is a major problem in marriage, and one of the root causes is because it's not being communicated. They don't talk about it. So talk about it, talk about everything. One of the ways to fortify your marriage is communication. Talk about everything, even if it looks stupid. Even if it looks as if you assumed right. Are you listening? Yeah, I think I assumed right. No, still ask. Don't leaving no stone unturned. Conflict resolution tips. Let me quickly go there so that, yeah, conflict resolution tips. Then we have making money as a couple. Let me give you one or two tips when it comes to couples conflict resolution tips. Number one is that, I think I've mentioned that earlier, don't blame each other. That is one. So when you want to resolve a particular conflict, ensure that you try as much as possible to avoid sleeping over conflict. Talk about it. But when you see that your spouse might not just be in the mood to discuss it, let it hang in there. In the process, please avoid brooding over it, because the more you brood, the deeper you might be hurt, or the deeper the anger might be. So that's why one of the tips I say that resolve issues as quickly as possible. Resolve issues as quickly as possible. But if your spouse is not, you think you sense, oh honey, can we talk about it? Babe, can we talk about it? And say, no, I'm not in the mood. Please respect that. Do you get it? Respect it. You're not in the mood to talk about it. Are you sure? Or you are trying to avoid it? No, I'm not. I'm just not in the mood. Maybe I'm still angry. I don't know how I feel right now. Okay, it's all right. So allow it to rest. Okay? And think about it. Another way is, after that, then how do you present this conflict? You don't want to present a conflict in an accusing manner. You don't want to present a conflict attacking your spouse. You don't want to present a conflict and your spouse feeling responsible for the issue from the beginning. No, that will be another conflict. In the process of resolving conflict, you are raising up another conflict. You are cooking up another conflict. That is not going to work. That is really not going to help you in resolving that conflict. So what you do is begin to look for a phrase instead of brooding over it. Begin to look for a phrase to start that conflict resolution. Like, okay, if I say it this way, will she still be angry? Okay. How do you feel about it? Oh, as soon as you are angry, how deep are you angry? Oh, well, this is, oh, wow, I didn't even know. Okay, can you explain further what you think happened? Do you get me? Can you explain further what you think happened? Do you think there's something that can be done? Which one am I responsible for? These are some of the tips. Very simple, very soft. A lot of people take soft drinks, but they are not soft. The way you just have to be soft spoken. It's not all the time that your voice has to be hard so that they know you're speaking. You want to say your mind. No, there are ways to go about it. You might be angry. You do not want to start conflict resolution when you are also angry yourself. So avoid that. If you know that you are the one that's even so angry, and then you're like, the reconciler said that we should not sleep over issues, we should resolve it, but you know you are still angry, please don't start that conflict resolution at that point in time. You must sit, relax with yourself and say, why am I angry? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? What if this is not it? What if this? Do you understand? Begin to ask questions in your head so that it calms you down, and then you are able to ask to know what exactly happened. Remember, it's just conflict. It is not your spouse. So you don't have to attack each other. The reason why conflict seems unresolvable is because spouses attack each other, hold each other responsible, and then want each other to right the wrong right there and there, and all of that. One of the tips I've given, I think I've said like 3 tips now. The next one that you want to do is that you want to be the listening here. You want to hear your spouse talk. You want your spouse to explain these things to you. So you want to listen actually and say, okay, what were you saying? What do you mean? Is this that? So always finding that time out to ensure that you talk about it is very important. Can we talk about this without interference? No phones. You cannot be saying that you want to resolve conflict and then you're pressing phone. And then say, okay, hello. Especially if you notice that your spouse is not interested, just hold on to when they're interested to resolve that conflict, because it's important. And don't let a conflict slip over the other. If you have too many of it, that's where you hear it's irreconcilable difference. Is this, is that? I don't think you were compatible. People don't even understand that compatibility doesn't mean that you have to be of the same personality. No. So I did not say that you should go and that you should do your personality test on www.16personalities.com and then say, oh, we are not compatible, we are not the same. No human being is the same. Let me get that with you. No human being is the same 100%, because that test will give you the percentage in different areas. So no human being is the same. So I don't want to deceive yourself and say, oh, well, we've done the test, we are not compatible, let each other go each other ways. No. There is a working together, as long as, there's just a working together. So another tip to resolving conflict is understanding that you are not the problem and no one is above a mistake. If your spouse really, really apologize and they want you to know that they really still love you and they want you to understand that part, I think you should understand it, knowing that they too will understand you when it comes to that as well. So in this case, you are also telling them, now that I understand you, if probably I have to fall into the same kind of mistake, I'm not saying I will you forgive me? Will you understand? Will you stand by me? Will you help me to get up? Right? Because it is each other helping each other. It is basically helping yourself. So these are one of the tips to resolving your conflicts. Like I said, don't ever blame each other. Look for a way out also to resolve your conflicts. Another thing is that as a family, as husband and wife, you should both sit down and say, what best way do you think we should resolve conflict? Like I said, you talk about sex, also talk about your ways of resolving conflict, so that the other party is not saying, well, we should resolve it now, and then there's another person that is there, third person, and you're almost embarrassed. Like, no, I don't want to talk about this here, right? There are things that you should just have between both of you, just known to both of you. So when it comes to your conflict, it's not out there, nobody else is doing this, nobody else is there, except when it is blown, people know about it, and then you're like, well, I don't think I can call my spouse to do this alone, I will need help, which you have to even ask him or her to say, can so person help us? Do we trust them enough to help us through this? And then you are able to do that together. So these are tips. You must be real with yourself to know if you need an external help or if it's something you can do together. If you have anger issues, you might not be able to resolve a complicated conflict all alone. You might need the help of an expert. All right, so I've given you a few tips. There are few tips, and I know this is much actually, but it's good. So money making as a couple. So money making as a couple is is very important. It's one of the ways to fortify your home. One of the sweetest ways to fortify your home, couple goals. Couple goals is not only family uniform, it's not just wearing the same color of clothes, but making this money together so that when you are spending it, you're spending it together. You're spending on what you're spending on. You have your names on your properties together, the things you own together. You're proud of each other along the way and all of that. So one of the ways to make money together as a spouse is when you are in each other's financial world. Each other's financial world in the sense that you know what your spouse is doing to get money, right? You know what the length they are going through. Sometimes they may even be going through a difficult time at work and you are aware. uh you're going all out to maybe seek solution, look for alternatives for them, or encourage them to do a particular course so they're able to change their jobs and all of that. So you are helping each other in making this money one. Then on the long run, you also have a family business or a particular stream of income. You might have savings together, you might have investment together. You hear about investment, you talk about it together, you plan towards it, and then you do what you want to do in the line together. All right. So it's like being in each other's financial world and yet building finance together. You're taking risks together. You have backups together. Do you get it now? You have emergency funds together. You are building wealth together. You cannot do these things without trust. And your home cannot be fortified without trust. Very important. Do you find it, well, sometimes it's intriguing and very interesting for me sometimes when I see that people can trust some other people outside of their marriage, right? You can easily partner with them and then you can partner with your spouse. It shows that you have not integrated. So if you have gone through the steps of the things I mentioned earlier, you are able to trust each other when it comes to making money together as a couple. You're even making money together with your children. Sometimes your children are beautiful. You put them out for adverts or ambassador to, yeah, not advert, but to be a company brands. They get paid. You take them to school of finance. They are learning. You guys are doing your maybe MBA, business administration. You're doing, or you even have to go to financial school or you join financial tribe, just one way or the other. You can't put your finance at the bottom of your list. It has to be on top because money answers all things. All things. I mentioned earlier, maybe you have to see a therapist, you have to see a counselor, all these things, they are not free. It's still going to be money. All right. So while you're making your money together, you're able to spend it together. You know the things to spend your money on, the returns or the effect, right? The effect, the growth you will experience as a family if you do these things together. So no one is just paying for therapy secretly and they are going through trauma or they have to go for chemo or for different things and they don't even know. Spouses, some are ill and then their spouse is not even aware, very as in not aware at all, might be going through stuff. So you really have to integrate to make money, legit money, full money, a lot of money. Because while you're making one, an idea comes, you trust each other with the idea, you go all out with it, or you say, okay, honey, let's hold on, let's try this percentage, let's put this in, and let's do this. I think one of the ways that breaks trust in marriage is when spouses find out that their spouse had some money somewhere and they are not even aware. Is actually, I've heard of a story that a woman owns the building they were living, and the husband will work hard so much to pay the landlord, and he didn't know that his wife owned the house. You can imagine how heartbroken, how, because he had to go through so much to even pay, she hid that from him so much. It might be through pain, it might be her own response, it might even be childhood experience. Maybe her parents, maybe her mother was thrown out of the house, maybe she was neglected, maybe her mother loved her parent, her husband, her father now wholeheartedly, and then he was treated badly or she was treated badly. Just I think you get the gist now. So people, I don't want to say misbehave, but people behave from the place of how they have grown or how they see life. So one of the major ways to fortify your home that I will tell you today is that you must ensure that you add therapy, you add or counseling, but I'll tell you more of therapy, because a lot of people have gone through so much that they don't know they are responding. It's called trauma response. They don't know they are responding to trauma. Sometimes the way you treat your spouse is because you are responding to trauma. The way you treat your children is because you are responding to trauma and you don't know. The way you even accept yourself, or the way you treat your own self, is because of trauma response. So one of the ways to fortify your home so that you start all on a new note is just go for therapy. It might be a session or two. You find out the things that you didn't even know, because the right questions, one of the things the therapists will ask you, and this opens you up to healing. It opens you up to the beginning and getting things better and right. I hope I've been able to teach freely out of the depth of what I have. There is always more. If you want the masterclass to this program, to teaching, that might be coming up, it might be a group training, let me know. Just send an email to the reconciler company at gmail.com. The reconciler company at gmail.com. I think the link or the email address should be on YouTube. We have a YouTube account, just Instagram account as well. Just send us a DM, the reconciler company on Instagram, on Facebook, the reconciler company, then on YouTube, the reconciler company. Please, if you have any question, ask your questions now. I am in the chat box. Just a few minutes, I will definitely answer you. Any question? And let me know how this has been. In case you don't have any question, can I know what's your take home from this teaching this evening? I think I'm on Zoom now. I don't know if there's anyone on YouTube to help me check if there are questions there. I enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed this session. All right. All right. So I love what Debbie said. She said, this session has been impactful. I just finished the personality test and it was really enlightening. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited to please 16personalities.com. Go ahead and do the test. All right, go ahead and do the tests. Go ahead and watch out for our masterclass. Register your family and get blessed by it. All right, I'm waiting more and more questions, feedback. Let us know. This should be encouraging. This should be encouraging. Let's go. Taking the first step might be very, very difficult, but honestly, if you just try to take the first step, every other step will be very, very easy. Sometimes I don't want to do anything. Let me just leave it like this. And you realize that you're on the same spot for a long time. You just be on the same spot for a long time. So just take the bold step, especially when it has to do with redefining your marriage. Defining your marriage is very important. You should be able to break out of the myth that women are not good managers, that once women see money, the woman is just to spend it. Women are spenders. No, not everyone. So if women are spenders, how come we have, for the second time, the director of the World Bank is still a woman? I got you there. Yeah, so let's go. I'm waiting. More feedback, questions. Okay. All right. You can unmute, but can someone write the question? Okay, unmute.
Okay, good evening, ma. I didn't know how to structure the question because so my question is how can I communicate is like something that is serious to me, but if I try to address a serious issue, I do that. If I look at my partner's face, I will laugh or I will smile. So but I'm trying, but I need to communicate that this thing is actually serious, regardless of whether I'm smiling or not. Yeah, so that's my question.
Okay. I want to ask you, have you ever written an exam before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was your exam a serious exam?
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes, are you happy when you go into the exam hall?
No.
Okay. But sometimes, either way, you still write the exams. If you
Yes.
see this serious thing as very important, even if you have to laugh when you look at your spouse's face, so I'll say, yes, this is serious. I'm laughing because your face makes me laugh. It gives me joy. But can we talk about this? Even while laughing, say what you want to say. Your spouse can hear you. They know that you're serious. You let them know that you're laughing because their face really makes you laugh. It gives you joy, but this is serious to you. So you want them to take it seriously and then say what you want to say. I think that's good.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other question? All right. If I'm yet to
Hello, ma.
okay.
Yes, ma. My question is, how can we help friends that are at the verge of, not even at the verge of separation, that have separated? How can we have friends that we are really close to and, you know, presently they are currently separated? So how can we help them?
Okay. It's very simple. I think you should just refer them to someone who reconciles. That's what we do at the Reconciler Company. The reason why I said that is I've had people who had to help refer their couple friends because they've tried as much as possible, right, to try to reconcile them, but it's not working. So they rather hand that over to a professional. So that's to someone who doesn't know them, to someone who's very neutral and not going to take a side. So they assume that their friend will probably take a side. So it might be why it's difficult to do that. That is one tip you can have. Then number two might be that you have to learn to reconcile if you have to be the one to do it. If you really want to be the one to, then you have to learn to reconcile. Then you might have to do that to attend the academy, the Reconcilers Academy, learning to be a reconciler, because it's a lot of work for me. So I would love to have people to join and be on board. But I wish you would also talk about how this program has been impactful. Thank you. I've answered your question.
Yes, ma. I also have another question. So, okay, for example, I have friends going through like they are going through the question I asked. Yeah, so they are going through separation, and right now both of them are like trying to say I should pick sides, like in terms of, oh, okay, if the enemy of my friend cannot be the friend of my enemy, cannot be, all those all those words. So, and I'm friends with the both of them. So I don't know what to do at this moment. I don't know if I should, just stay back and leave them, or I really don't know, because both of them are now like, you need to pick side. If you want to be my friend, you have to cut the other person off. I'm like, I'm friends with both of you. I've always been close to the both of you. Right now, you telling me to pick side is something that is going to be a lot of struggle for me. So, what can you advise me to do in a situation like this?
Yes, because you don't want to pick side. I think I already answered your question. Why you have to do that is because if at the end of the day you try to listen, and usually one side is the reality is one side you actually take more of, that part. But to avoid that, especially had to do with your reputation, and for them to know that you have a neutral love, just bring in a neutral person. Just refer them that, you know what, you guys are my friend, right? You're my friend, and I don't want to lose you. I love both of you dearly. I love your marriage. I love what you have going on, and to have decided to take or to employ someone who can reconcile your relationship, someone who is neutral, who doesn't even know you, because I want what you guys, I desire what, not desire now, but I love to see you guys together. Always, I want to see your marriage work. So that will be your own quota. Don't interfere, especially when you're already experiencing this. It's very candid. Don't say, oh, okay, let me hear. No. So send them, might just book a session or two, just send them the code, give them the time to attend, and you would just get the feedback from there. They would even thank you later. It's important you do that so that they don't feel, you get that, because that means they're already seeing each other as each other's enemies. Do you get? And that's very, very, it's getting to an edge. I think you need to take a step ASAP. That's it. So I have another one. Has this session been impactful, Motorayo? Because I didn't hear you say that.
Yes, it has. Actually, I joined very late. I joined very, very late. So, and this
You
is the
might have.
first time I'll be joining. So
I will encourage you to go to our YouTube page so that you can listen from the beginning.
okay.
We have it on our YouTube page at Igiolufunke. At Igiolufunke on our YouTube page. I think it's there. So you get that. Thank you.
Okay.
And
Thank you
love to
so
the
much.
baby.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Get that. You're welcome. So it's been impactful. I really learned a lot, but in a situation where your spouse is not ready to see things in another except in his own way, how can the spouse go about it? So that means you're talking about contradicting perspective. You have different perspective. You always have different perspective because you're from different background. It's one of the things both of you must know, especially when it comes to conflict resolution tips that I said earlier. You have different backgrounds, so the way you see things is always different, right? It's all very different. So one of the things that many people lack is how to observe. Do you know that there is no one, no matter how hard or difficult it's like to get this person to understand this and all of that, there are ways, there are moments where they are just there to listen, and then they will see it. So I want to encourage you, try to observe these things. When you want to bring up an issue, ensure that this person does not feel attacked. First, listen to the person. Try to understand the mood. Is this person in a happy mood? This person, wow, wow. So when you want to make the person to sit in and ask questions, what if? So you are not saying that, I think this is this. No. What if there's something question does? Question opens you up to see more than your perspective. It helps you to search in another direction or in another way. Do you understand? From another spot. It helps you to see from another depth. So that is what questioning, just ask from a question pathway as the person says, oh, hey, oh, what if? Don't say, oh, I think this is it. Or no, this is what happened. No, don't even bother to create the scenario. But ask questions that will lead them to walk the path to seeing what you want them to see. It's as simple as that. Yeah, ask questions to want them to see. So I have tips on how to ask those questions, but I won't be doing that here. Okay. But like I said, ask questions and don't let the person feel attacked on how you're asking the question. You ask questions even from their utterances and be soft about it. Don't be aggressive. Don't ask angrily, because sometimes you might really be hot. Like I said, don't say you want to explain anything or resolve conflict. When you are angry yourself, you're just going to turn everything upside down. All right. I think that's it. Do we all enjoy the session? I want to believe we enjoyed that. It's been a wonderful time with everyone here, and I really, really had a great time. Thank you so much for showing up. If you still want to listen to more tips, please go to our YouTube page at Igeolufunke on YouTube. That's our YouTube channel. So you will see that there are other resources that are there. Please take your time out to listen to. We also have the Reconciler Company in YouTube page, who will be releasing a lot of teachings that we have done for free there. But of course, if you want to book sessions, do not forget, send us a DM at the Reconciler Company, or you send an email to the Reconciler Company at gmail.com. We'll be right there early to listen to. We are on Seller to buy your ticket or to buy. We have a book on sex and spirituality. This is balancing your spirituality and having a good sex without feeling guilty. You can make order up for that book also on our Seller page. We have every link on our Linktree page on the Reconciler Company or at Igeolufunke on Instagram. Ensure to follow us so that you get abreast, get the first-hand information on the next program that will be coming up. Look forward to our masterclass when we'll be having couples and singles hangouts in the month of love, February. I'm glad. Thank you so much, my team, to everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever time you are, wherever you are joining us from all over the world. God bless you. Bye-bye.